Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today I got a pretty cool review for you. I got a review of the Kershaw Launch 1. First and foremost, one of the coolest things about Kershaw is this is made in America, and I mean, nothing against anything, but, a little bit of American pride, but they kept their price down on this. This is very comparable to a lot of Pro-Techs, in my opinion. Not that I'm that astute or well-versed in, all the automatic world, because I'm mostly just a flipper, non-automatic guy. But I prefer this knife over any automatic knife that I've ever held in my life. Full disclosure. This Launch 1 is fantastic, and I think Dave Likes Knives agrees with me. I think he said that, and then I was carrying it for a while, and I freaking get it, right? So, jumping right into it, this, first and foremost, is a used knife with a power of this. See it ripple right down there? Yeah, this thing's awesome. So this blade shape is called a drop point. I almost wanted to call it like a harpoon style because of the way this landing zone is for your thumb. That's all right. So we got a swedge going down the full length of the blade. This is a black wash with a heavily stone washed finish going on there. It's almost like a working finish. It might be Kershaw's working finish. That might be what they call it, so it hides scratches easily. This steel is coming in at a CPM 154. That is awesome for the $100 price point that you can find it at, and you can't find it everywhere. Most places are sold out, and I'm not sure that they're coming back with the Launch 1. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But there are places that still have it in stock. I believe, what did I write down? Optic Knives, I think it was. In stock at Optics Planet, all right, for 99 bucks. So if you're interested in it, there you go. This blade shape has a full flat grind. I'm going to call it full. It's more like 3/4 the way flat grind, other than the swedge. It lends a lot of strength to that tip, but this blade shape reminds me very eerily to, I'm going to always defer to this just because this is the first blade shape that I had in this form, was the Civivi Plethoros. I don't like that knife. No offense, Elijah Isham fans. I really don't like any of his models other than McKenna. So far, I haven't found one that I really liked. In hand, they just feel weird. But the blades are so slicey and so good. And this blade shape reminds me of the Plethoros. It's got that almost food prep-ish style blade. And it just is so functional. We have a 6061 aluminum here with a laser-etched American flag. So, I was trying to do an American thing. I think that was a Star Wars theme. All right, so we have two holes here. Because this pocket clip is ambidextrous, it is not necessarily the most, good-looking pocket clip. It's going to do the job, though, right? I guess they could have done something different with the pocket clip. Kind of looks silly, but it is what it is. These are two pieces of aluminum coming together, so there is no backspacer. This is just where the aluminum meets up. Cool fact. There is a hidden lanyard hole in one of those designs that comes out that side. And in proof, so you guys can believe me. Pretty cool, right? So we got these cool little indentations here. I'm not sure if they're there to hide the lanyard hole so they can keep the theme going, but it's cool. On the inside, there's really no milling. It's just aluminum, and then you have the stainless steel for everything up here. This is riding on... What kind of bare washers is this? I'm not sure if I found that out before, though. You really can't see it because it's so enclosed, but that's good because it's perfectly enclosed. So it doesn't matter what it's riding on. The spring action is very strong, and this is a plunge locking system, so there's a button lock. Now, it does stick slightly proud of the scales. That being said, I haven't had any freaking problems with it at work, and I've carried this quite a bit at work and enjoyed carrying it quite a bit. There's heavy chamfering going all around the edges. It's not contoured, but there's something about it that it's, once again, you guys are noticing a theme with me, right? I like the fat scales in hand. This is probably going to be a pretty thin knife, but because it's so wide or tall, it's going to fit in your hand really well. I think the ergonomics of this guy are phenomenal, and I actually really appreciate kind of the kick out on pommels from now on, where they have that little arc, comes down, like the Boca Roundhouse. Did it a little bit more extensively than one should, but that arc where it kind of comes drastically in there. Not to where it cups your hand, but just enough to where your natural contours of your hand follow it. And I'm finding myself really appreciating that. Hardware going around, I believe this is, I don't know what the hell this is. I'm going to just make up some shit. I'm like, you can't make it up. You got to friggin' figure it out. That's T6. And the pivot is going to be a T8, I believe. All right, let's get you guys some specs. I'm not trying to fanboy out on this, guys. I intentionally, I'm getting my hands on like every launch that I possibly can because the Launch 10 just rocked my socks off as a small knife. This thing's rocking my socks off as a larger knife, and I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I'm probably going to keep this. This is coming in right around 4 ounces. Yeah, this is one of those automatic knives that I'm probably going to keep as like a work knife that I use frequently because I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. But then you guys that know me are calling me a liar because we know how you keep knives. You keep them for a week and you say they're a safe clean and then you trade them. That's possible. But under this type of circumstance, when I choose to beat the hell out of a knife, I really can't get rid of it. So this is coming in at about 8 1/8 inches or 8 point, what is that? Like 8.15 or something like that. So the blade length is coming in between 3 1/4 and 3 1/2, but the overall cutting edge is coming in at about 3 1/2. The cutting, you're getting a little bit more cutting edge because the blade goes all the way down to here, where the top of your bolster, if you will, or the bolster area, not really a bolster, is coming up to here. So you're getting a little bit more cutting edge than you are blade length. Interesting. That's always cool when they're able to do that. And actually, Isham Designs are notorious for that. This actually has kind of like an Isham-esque, but this is like Isham Light. I know this isn't an Elijah Isham design, but this kind of looks like it. But I would call this version Isham Light, and I could deal with Isham Light. And in fact, I really like it. But Isham Normal, I'm like, ugh. These are a little bit too sci-fi to be practical for me. All right, so this blade stock's coming in at 120 thousandths. The behind-the-edge thickness of this full flat grind wouldn't surprise me if it's pretty narrow. Coming in at under 20, no. Yeah, under 20 thousandths. So this thing's a really, really good slicer. Really good slicer. The scale thickness is coming in at just under 1/2 inch, which is cool because it's going to have a pretty good pocket profile as far as narrow goes. But here's where it's going to get This is where it's going to suffer. This thing at its tallest point is 1.6 inches in your pocket. What does that mean? That means this is the equivalent of a PM2 in your pocket as far as height. So, yeah, the PM2 is not the most carry-friendly of knives. This isn't the most carry-friendly of knives either, but what you're sacrificing in carry factor is just a freaking awesome knife. Here is your Spyderco Little Native for size comparison, and your Spyderco Shaman. As you can see, this thing's coming in. It's hard to kind of gauge because it kicks out. It's just about as long as your Shaman, and obviously much longer than your Little Native. Here is your Rat Model 2. Obviously much longer than your Rat Model 2. And your Rat Model 1. Slightly shorter than your Rat Model 1, maybe not. It's kind of hard to tell because this pommel kind of kicks out a little bit there. All right, here is your CJRB Mini Feldspar and your CJRB regular size Feldspar. Obviously a little bit larger than both. Well, a little bit larger than your regular size, a lot larger than your small size. Last is your Civivi Sandwich. Here is your Civivi Keen Natter and your Civivi Elementum. So the Keen Natter's coming in at maybe the same length, but this is just so much more of a beefy boy, right? It's just thicker, it's just bigger. The only thing that you can compare those two with is really length. So, quick recap. This is a CPM 154 steel with a, I'm going to call it full flat grind, maybe close to a 3/4 flat grind. Drop point blade, which I'm going to call harpoon because it's fun right there. With the swedge that carries some of the blade strength towards the tip. I just had like a brain fart while I was saying that. Basically, 3/4 of the blade strength is coming in the swedge. This is an automatic knife from Kershaw, and it fires hard as hell. The ergonomics in your hand, this feels really good. This is your thumb landing zone. This is a 6061 aircraft grade aluminum, which is basically an aluminum with a little bit of magnesium and a little bit of silicon. This is a plunge lock system with a stop bar right there, and a pocket clip that is ambidextrous with a lanyard hole that is hidden. Super cool. So, what are my likes about this guy? First and foremost, I love the blade. I've used it frequently, and I enjoy it. And I agree with Dave. Dave told me one time, I asked him what his favorite launch was. He said the Launch 1. And I have like the Launch 6, the Launch 4, the Launch 10, the Launch 9, and I don't remember. Launch 13, the Warncliffe version. Haven't carried the Launch 13 yet. I know it's a popular model, but having held both of these, this thing is so awesome. Just in hand, it's so nice. But you guys also know that I prefer a much larger knife. So the substantial feeling in hand is something I appreciate rather than the discreet carry itself. I wear jeans and I carry a lot of stuff around at work, so it doesn't bother me. It may bother somebody else, which is why they may prefer those other knives. Another thing I really like, this thing's stupid snappy. I mean, it opens up and it fires so freaking hard. You can see the hands, like, I mean, there's time, if I'm lightly holding it, it like tries to kick out of the hand. It's crazy. So this thing's super, super strong. It's just great. Another thing I like about it, I love the looks. I think it looks really cool. Just me. Maybe you don't. That's just something I'm throwing in there. I love the freaking value. This thing's coming in at $100. Might be hard to find, but for $100, for a knife that ProTech you're going to pay at minimum $140 or $150. No knock on ProTech, but they're typically using the same steel, same aluminum, same snappy action. I mean, it's debatable. I guess it depends knife to knife. But in my opinion, the quality is on par with each. And it's ProTech's kind of more of a frilzy, you know, you get the inlays and stuff like that, whereas like Kershaw's kind of coming out with these user-friendly, more budget-style knives. And the only difference is just probably the no frills, right? Love the value. Absolutely love the value. Love the fact that there's a hidden lanyard hole. I think that's hilarious and a very, very just cool. I mean, I love the idea. So what's my dislike? And I say dislike as in one. The one thing I dislike about this is a pocket hog. While it feels narrow, it feels smooth, it's easy to slip your hand past, the width of this pocket, or of this knife, takes up quite a bit of your pocket. So it's going to be a little bit pocket hoggy, and there's not much you can do about that. It just kind of is what it is. So if you don't mind a pocket hog, get it. If you mind a pocket hog, keep moving, because this is about just as wide as your PM2, and your PM2 is a crazy pocket hog as well. That is all I got for you guys. This is the ProTech. Embarrassing. Holy living crap, that was embarrassing. I just got done talking about why this is probably better due to the price, and let's retry that. Boop, take two. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Kershaw Launch 1. Fantastic freaking knife. Probably my favorite automatic knife right now. I don't know if I said it already, but my name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp. Stay safe. Have a great freaking day, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means a lot. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, give me some feedback in the comments below and hit the thumbs down button. In case you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon, which will be listed right here. In that Patreon, we're giving bi-monthly giveaways to just the Patreons based on the number of Patreons that we have in the Patreon. We will also be giving discounts on all the knives that I sell based on the number of patrons. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great day.